Morning, Saturday, August 16th, 2025. Larissa, time's come. Drink some skulls. Yeah. So, yesterday. Yesterday, it's interesting, all this talk back and forth. I watched what they said when they came out of their closed door private meeting. And so far, I haven't seen any reports on what was actually discussed in that closed door meeting or what was said in post press conference phone calls to other world leaders, including Mr. Zelensky. What I heard come out of their mouths, whether it was the pre press conference, the initial meet and greet, or the post press conference, was a whole lot of nothing. I mean, President Trump started off with soccer? What? I mean, to begin with, that's a fucking insult to all of the people who are dying, whose homes have been destroyed, whose lives have been destroyed by this invasion. Is he comparing this to a soccer game? And then Putin gives him a ball. He's like, "Ball's in your court." What? Soccer doesn't have a court. Soccer has a pitch. Oh my God. The whole thing just seems like a farce. And then that afterwards, I mean, I was like, is this a dick sucking festival? What is going on here? I don't know. I don't know anything more now than I knew before, other than this country the president of the United States, the current president of the United States, hosted an internationally recognized war criminal and did not arrest him. And then went on to tell him how great he was. I don't know. I really, I'm at a loss of words because, like I said, I tell you, people in the United States, Americans with Ukrainian heritage, we're treated like shit and always have been. So, like, right? And not just by Republicans, by Democrats as well. So, either side of my family, my mother's or father's, growing up, it was discouraged to identify with any kind of ethnicity other than American. Like, all people who are like, oh, I am this American, I'm that American, like whatever it is, African American, Italian American, Chinese American, whatever. Like that kind of identification in my family system growing up was discouraged. We were Americans, flat, plain and simple, Americans. And the explanation I got was that the countries and situations that they left to come to this country were so horrendous, they wanted to leave that behind. and start as something new, as something different, as an American. And so, I don't know, the tribalist kind of perspective of identifying as anything other than a unified people, right? That's communist. That's communist agenda. The oh, quit your huffing down there, Mister. He's over here. Don't talk about communists. Communism. No, that's a communism. That's a communism. Communist um, technique to create race and class war, and you do that by putting people into groups of the other, right? So anyway, you're going to do that. Our Constitution ties us all together, you know. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. I got a lot of administrative work done at work yesterday for myself, which was good, you know. I had work on my website and all that jazz. So, you know, some editing in the magazine, and yeah. Hopefully the Google updates my address soon. Hopefully. Hopefully the Google does that, because I don't understand why it's taking so damn long. Anyway, woke up this morning with that weird sensation down my left leg, and it's upsetting. I am upset right now. I'm upset. Like, I don't know if you probably can't tell. I don't know. I'm very, very upset right now. Um, I am just waiting for the day that I wake up and one or both of my legs doesn't work. And what do I mean by that? I mean, doesn't respond to me saying in my head, let's get out of bed and move, leg. You know? People take that shit for granted. I don't. I haven't for a very long time. Oh, that first accident. That first accident, that leather coat that I was wearing, that I had just picked up from being on layaway. It's ridiculous when I think about it now. I mean, the jacket was $375, and I had it on layaway. It was like at Marshall's or something. The layaway at Marshall's. Yeah. So it was like $375 at Marshall's. Right? Oh my God. Oh, I had just picked it up. I'd been making payments on it for like 2 months. Whenever I had extra $10, $15 from my tips and things that I could spare, right? Because I wanted that coat so bad. And then I got hit like that. And that guy's car was up underneath my truck. And they were going to cut the coat off of me because my arm was swollen. And I told them that they would cut that coat off of me over my dead body. And I remember standing firmly in front of the paramedic and the cop. And the cop is like, well, can you move your truck? And I'm like, my tie rod is cracked. I mean, my wheels were tipped in on the front of the truck because the Sentra was up underneath the front end of the 4x4. That cop was like, you can't just leave your car in the middle of the road. I'm like, well, I can't push it, right? Like, I'm the one that was hit here. He's the one who's drunk. The cop knew the guy. The cop knew the guy. They were friends. I could tell by their conversation. You know? and they were going to cut that coat off of me. And I said, over my dead body. And I stood my and I just took a deep breath and I looked that paramedic in the eye, and the paramedic had these big like scissors or something, like they were going to cut that coat. And I'm like, and they stopped and just looked at me, and I felt the swelling go down in my arm, and I just slipped it off and handed it to them. And the paramedic was like, what the hell just happened? Because they had been tugging, we'd been trying to get it off, right? So that they could look at my arm. I had my waitressing uniform on underneath that. So it's not like there was tons, it's not like I had layers of sweaters or shit underneath. My shoulder and arm were all, it was the right one, were all, it was swollen. And yeah, it just went down. It just disappeared. And I slipped the coat off, and they were able to look at it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I was in so much pain the next day. And then the second accident that happened, like after that accident happened, like at the end of winter, it was like the last snowstorm of the winter. And I had to, it was such a pain in the ass. Like, I had to go for most of the spring and summer without a vehicle while I was working. I had to like use, oh God, it was such a pain in the ass. I had to get rides to work and all kinds of shit until I saved up $3,000, and my grandmother gave me $3,000 when I didn't have the $6,000 enough. She gave me $3,000, and that's what I bought that Mercury, that '89 Mercury Tracer. That oh, I loved that car. I loved that car. I really did. I loved that little car. It was my first car. It was mine, it was my car. It wasn't me using my dad's truck or whatever. That was my car. And then that woman hit it, and oh my gosh, when I got hit that time, after that, that's when I was really a mess, right? That's when I had, it was after that that they gave me the physical therapy and the traction on my neck. Oh my God. Oh, woke up this morning. But it was since then, like, I don't take for granted walking. But waking up this morning and having my leg be like that, and then my arm and shoulder, the right side, like that spot on my back that tore. I just have, I'm having pain today. One of these mornings, I'm gonna wake up and my body's just not gonna work. It's like I'm constantly, that thought is always somewhere in my brain. Anyway, we have a day together, Omar and I. Neither of us has obligation today. I mean, there's things that need to be done this weekend, but they don't have to happen today. We can do them tomorrow, so we can have a day together. So we'll see how today goes and what we do. I don't know. Last night for dinner, what did I make? I made a giant frittata. I made a giant frittata last night. Yeah, I was going to do sauteed squash and spinach with quinoa, but when I had two squashes, small summer squashes, sunburst summer squashes, little round ones that have like that, have the little scalloped edge. And I cut one of them open. It was brown inside, so I just had one. So I grated that, and I grated I had a potato, and I grated the potato and made a potato crust, right? Broiled that a little bit, got some crispy on it so that the potatoes were started. And then chopped up my spinach, grated the other squash, grated some cheese, and chopped up some green onion, tossed that all together, right? And then when I took the potato crust out of the oven, and I packed all of that filling into that crust, and then I had 5 eggs from our chickens and a couple spoonfuls of yogurt, and I whisked that together, and then I poured that over the filling in the quiche, right? Well, we're not a quiche, a frittata, the filling that was in the potato crust, and then I sliced up a tomato, and I put that on top, and I baked it until it was done and nice and crispy on top. It was really good. It was really, 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 really good. That's what we had for dinner last night. There's 2 like small pieces left. And I told Omar, I said, eat as much of it as you can. Um, uh, it's mostly vegetable because it was. It was mostly vegetable. Anyway, tonight we will probably have that bucatini. So I have some dry farm tomatoes that I picked up, and I'll use those dry farm tomatoes. I have a little bit of pesto left over from last time I made pesto, and I have white wine, and so I'll make a sauce with that, and we'll have that with the bucatini with a salad. That's probably what we'll have for dinner tonight. Yeah. When I go grocery shopping, I get stuff. I'm gonna make barley bean soup this coming week. Got some nice barley down there. Yeah, and I got lots of nice white beans, so barley and white bean soup. Yeah. And get some mushrooms and do mushroom barley soup. Yum. I like soup. I like soup a lot. I know how to make all kinds of soups. You're my soup snake. Yeah. Anyway, this past week I made polenta for breakfast. I made polenta. Grits is generally white corn or hominy ground, right? Polenta is yellow corn. It's not hominy. So that's the difference between grits and polenta. But they're very similar flavor. Very similar. Very similar. Polenta's a little bit sweeter, right? It's a little bit sweeter. Hominy is a little earthier, right? They're both good. They're both good. So we had polenta with fried egg and tomatoes. Polenta with spinach. Polenta with spinach and cheese, fried egg and tomato. Because I made that spinach cheese sauce earlier in the week to go on the baked potatoes, and I made a lot of it. So I used the rest of it when I mixed it when I made the polenta. Yeah. So I had that for breakfast, and then also had oatmeal. Meal planning. That's all. You know? Yeah. Anyway, I need to get some more oats. I'm low on oats. Oats. Anyway. Next time in Moscow. Yeah, right. Oh my God. The whole thing. It's just like, wow, really?